Hello friend, it's Terry Seacrest, and today I'd like to talk with you about a beautiful way to support healthy emotions. So our goal today is to learn how to recognize, how to feel, how to process, and how to release negative emotions and promote healthy emotions using some special essential oil blends called the Feeling Collection by Young Living Essential Oils. So today I'm going to talk to you about this collection and how some of the very interesting ingredients in them so you can understand the power. You might be saying, well, how in the world could an essential oil help to do that? Allow me to explain the importance of the limbic region of the brain. Most of our brain responds to our voice. There's one area of the brain, which is the limbic region of the brain, that actually responds only to smell and fragrance. It's so interesting that one of the 5 senses God gave us when He created us is the sense of smell. And we were born to live among fragrance. Adam and Eve, they were put into a fragrant garden. They smelled plants and flowers and shrubs all day long, every day. Today, many of us live in a just a more sterile environment, especially if you have to live in a city. It's more difficult. Nonetheless, the power of smell is very, very important because as you breathe in very, very pleasant fragrances that come from plants, you are able to reach this part of the brain known as the limbic region, which is where we store all of our emotions. When they reach this part of the brain becomes a communication system to the human body. For example, in the case of anxiety, when I'm breathing a certain plant oil and I'm anxious, like lavender is a good example, and that lavender reaches the limbic region of my brain, the brain speaks to my body and says, Terry, let go of that anxiety. You don't need to be anxious anymore. Let go of it. Or even a bad memory that I might have had years ago comes up, the memory comes up, I'm able to release it, and all of a sudden my shoulders, my neck, everything is just, more relaxed, and all of a sudden I feel free. So this is how it works. It works in a very scientific manner through inhalation, breathing in, going through the olfactory bulb in the nose to the amygdala region of the brain in just approximately 3 seconds. Another way to experience relief emotionally is through using a cold water diffuser where you put about 10 drops of oil in there and then you actually put your water in there and plug it in. And this begins to come out. Maybe you're sitting at a desk working and you're feeling stressed out, and this comes out into hundreds of fine particles into the air that you breathe, once again allowing you to breathe in those beautiful plants and to breathe out that anxiety. Hopefully that makes sense. So as a wellness coach, the good news is today we're talking about solutions. Let's begin with our very first oil today called Valor, V-A-L-O-R. This is an exquisite blend of oils. I hope you can see in the camera that it actually has a lovely bluish purple color to it. So to get to know your oil, it's very simple. You just want to breathe it. Just breathe deeply. I'd like to share what's in this oil. It's so special. Black spruce, camphor, blue tansy, which gives it the color, frankincense, and geranium. Just think of a black spruce tree if you've ever seen a spruce tree. It's sturdy, it's strong, it's grounding. That's what Valor helps us to do. And so this is a strengthening oil that is good to put on first thing in the morning, good to put on the bottoms of your feet, And again, just breathing it, I love to breathe it. And it got its name very, very interestingly because it was a very famous formulation of oils that the Roman soldiers used to anoint themselves like a cologne before going into battle. It is something, once again, strengthening emotionally. So I want you to think of that oil. How could you use that oil? What if you were scared of public speaking, for example, which so many people are? How could you use that oil to breathe it, to get it into the limbic region of the brain, and to expel some of that fear? That's your Valor. Well, number 2 is absolutely exquisite. Number 2 is Harmony. Just imagine an essential oil called Harmony that has so many powerhouse ingredients. Listen to this: sacred sandalwood, lavender, ylang-ylang, frankincense, orange, angelica, geranium, hyssop, Spanish sage, black spruce, coriander, bergamot, lemon, jasmine, Roman chamomile, palmarosa, and rose oil. I enjoy just taking this Harmony and breathing it again like this, just breathing that in. And the purpose of this oil is to help you create a very calm atmosphere around you. Let's move on to one of my favorite oils called Inner Child. Inner Child has a very youthful, light, and kind of I don't know, for me it's kind of just a citrusy smell. Very, very happy. And I have to share with you that I had not had any experience at all with this oil. I never used it before. And a number of years ago, I was going through a very difficult time in my life. And I just had a bunch of oils lined up. And I literally just thought, well, I wonder what my body really needs right now, or my emotions. And I grabbed that Inner Child and I began to anoint myself with that oil along with my prayers. All I know is that after about a 7-day period, I felt very, very peaceful. So I just want to share with you the ingredients because there's so many good oils in this blend. Orange, tangerine, ylang-ylang, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, jasmine, lemongrass, spruce, bitter orange, neroli. Wow. That is what creates the Inner Child. And this is something where, I don't know, for those of you that maybe are the oldest child and, had to always be kind of mature, throughout your life, it might be something for you to try. Let's go to our next oil today called Present Time. This is actually a very simple formula. It's just got a few ingredients in it. I'm going to let you know what that is. Sweet almond, bitter orange, black spruce, and ylang-ylang. Have you ever met someone that all they ever do is talk about the past? No matter how much you try to engage them in conversation about, what are you excited about today? All they can do is talk about what they did 20 years ago. This might be a good oil for them. Breathing this oil called Present Time has been known to help someone to let go of always being stuck in the past and to become more conscious of today, what's important today. As someone very wise once said, we can't change the past. We have no idea what's going to happen in the future. All we have is today. Maybe I'm in a conversation with my children and I'm thinking of something else. What's the next, who do I have to call next? What do I need to do next? Blah, 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 blah. And my children, especially my daughter Elizabeth, she'll say, Mom, are you paying attention to me? So every now and then when I get in that kind of a thing, I know, you know what? Whoever I'm talking to right now, who's standing in front of me, is the most important person in the entire world to me right now. And I need to give them my fullest attention. So if you find yourself to be wandering off into thinking about everything else instead of that person you're talking to, I encourage you to try Present Time. It will probably help you. All right? Well, another beautiful oil. Probably, I think, the most important oil I've discovered in this line of oils is called forgiveness. One of my mentors once said, you know, Terry, if a person is not ready to forgive, this oil is not going to help you. It's not going to help you. But if you are someone that has struggled with a hurt in the past, and you want to forgive someone that's hurt you, but remember, I told you, all emotions are stored in the limbic region of your brain. They could be stored there for 10 years, 20 years. And that's why you're having trouble moving on. Then when you breathe in forgiveness over and over, and it might not happen the first day. A lot of times we see changes in a day. It could take a whole week. But if you will be diligent and use it several times a day, how many times a day do we eat? 2 or 3 times a day. So if you'll be diligent and breathe this oil 2 or 3 times a day, and don't be in a hurry. Do not be in a hurry at all. And you can anoint yourself with the oil, anoint your throat, wherever you feel led to anoint yourself, according to James 5:14. I believe that over time, you will probably have a very big emotional release once again. And you will remember those hurts. They will come to the surface by breathing this, because it gets to the brain, and then you have a choice. At that moment, you can just take it back, or you can say, you know what? I choose to forgive this person. It doesn't mean what they did was right, but I am making a conscious choice today. I am going to forgive this person and let it go once and for all. So that is the purpose of this oil called forgiveness. Our final oil this afternoon is a very exquisite blend of oils called Release. Let's talk for just a minute about the importance of helping our children emotionally right now. You know, children hold a lot of emotions in just as we do. It's hard because a lot of times they're not necessarily talking about it. So what we can do as a parent, again, in diffusing some essential oils, my children used to love me to rub their feet with oils, because when you rub their feet with oils, it will go throughout the body in about 21 minutes. So this release oil, I had not had experience with this oil either. I had read a lot about it. It has many, many individual oils in it, and I had not had experience with it. So I began to put a few drops in my hands. And by the way, as a child, my mother had a very difficult birth when she was giving birth to me. Well, anyway, I was breathing this release, you know, like this for a couple different times. Nothing big happened whatsoever. And a friend of mine said, Terry, have you ever put release on your belly button? And I said, that sounds weird. Why would I do that? I don't know. She gave me some scientific thing about that relationship to the mother and things. I don't even remember what it was. Nonetheless, I put this on my belly button during my prayer time. And it wasn't more than about 5 or 6 minutes, I began to weep and weep and weep and weep. I would say for 30 minutes. And I had this feeling in my brain, this feeling of rejection. Obviously, I must have been holding on to it. I don't know. But what I do know is that somehow that helped me to feel the emotion, as I mentioned earlier, feel it, think about it, work through it, and let it go. And so I just said, I just choose to release any emotion that no longer serves me. I just choose to release it. So as a child of God, I just believe that as children of God, it is our birthright to experience joy. You know, the scripture says that in his presence is fullness of joy. There's many beautiful scriptures on joy. And so I believe that that's our birthright. So if this is something that's helpful to you, or maybe you know someone else that maybe could use some emotional support right now, I hope you'll share this video with them. And I just pray that God will use these beautiful trees and flowers and shrubs and root that he gave us for your healing and your well-being. Thank you so much again, and I wish you a joyful day.